All right, you can start refreshing, Leonard. Welcome aboard. We don't get started yet because we wait for sound. So that's what we're doing. I'm back from my mother's. She's doing great. She had a full hip replacement. It'll be, it was 2 weeks ago on Friday. She's doing good. She's now retired from her walker to her cane, and she's doing all kinds of things without her cane at all. And I just thought I'd give an update because everybody's been very, very kind, wishing my mother well. She's doing great. And we got Danny here, which I want to talk to as soon as we get some sound going, which we don't have. So basically right now I'm just doing some advertisement. Happy hour on Wednesday night, 7:30, Happy Hour Social Club, King Hap and Taco. They talk about everything. They talk about football, baseball, basketball, hockey, UFC, a lot of UFC with them. They're great. Go ahead and join those guys at 7:30 Wednesday nights. And you can hear me. That's good. Sound is good. Now, thank you for doing the sound check, everybody, and welcome to the chat room on Saturday morning. Fantasy baseball is still going strong. Yes, it is. I know many of you have done some football drafts already, and you're getting excited.
I don't know
NFL.
what sound he's got because I don't have sound yet.
Well, keep refreshing, Lenny. The sound is good.
Okay. Anybody else have sound?
Yes, they all have sound.
Okay.
So we're just waiting for Lenny to get.
Sound is good.
Sound
Okay.
is good.
Hear you.
Danny, welcome back. Danny's had some health issues to deal with, and we're so happy to see Danny in the chat room. I don't know if you call anything major surgery, but it's always major when it's happening to you. So me and my mom joked a lot about that, how surgery is only major when it's happening to you. But Danny went in for surgery yesterday, 6 a.m. He was home by 2:30. Unbelievable, the medical breakthroughs that we've had in the last decade or so. And gives me hope for when I have these problems. I will be in and out of the hospital. Same day service. We love it. So welcome back, Danny. Thanks so much to Penny, Danny's wife, for taking care of him. We know behind every good man is a good woman, or
Is a woman's behind.
Lenny likes to say behind every good man is a woman's behind. I don't know how much sense that makes, but it is Lenny, so what are you going to do? Great to be home, back listening. Good morning to Eddie Heckman, Unholy Toledo, Danny Fuller, SM King Turd. We love it. Rotorious AE, Tommy Johnson's here. Triple Play, Data Premier. Chris from Cambridge sent me a couple great tidbits the other day. It's pretty cool. Boston Paul. Yes, sir. It's Boston Paul. I was going to make it official Boston Paul Day because I know he's been hankering for this, but Danny Fuller, I think we should say it's official Danny Fuller Day, who's had hiatal hernia surgery. In the last month, he's had a couple of major surgeries. Anyway, I'm done with that. Done harping on the surgeries and stuff. But don't worry, Boston Paul. Your day is coming soon. Drama in D.C. yesterday. The Nationals, they canceled Strasburg's retirement presser. Now they're saying they don't want to pay the full $110 million left on his contract, even after the Strasburg family came for the event. What a letdown. I mean, of course they don't want to pay $110 million left on his contract. I don't know why there was ever a misunderstanding about that in the first place. I mean, enough misunderstanding that they scheduled a retirement press conference, invited the whole Strasburg family, and then what? They never decided to tell him that they didn't want to pay the rest of his salary? Unbelievable. Well, I wish Malpal was here because Malpal did something great yesterday, and we love to see when Lenny inspires people to go and dig deeper. Yesterday, Lenny was talking about Strasburg and his career, and, you know, looking at it from a bird's eye view, you could...
Malpal's here.
Oh, good. Malpal is here. Now, looking at Strasburg's career from a bird's eye view, you could say that he had a disappointing career, and, you know, there's reason to make that argument. But after the show yesterday, Malpal went and did some digging, and he said, look, Strasburg first of all, the Nationals would have never won that World Series without Strasburg. That's a big deal. Number two, the guy let me just go ahead and pull this up because I got to get this right. Now, I have it in my text messages here with Malpal. Strasburg, during his 8-year run, he never started less than 22 games because my response was, all right, fine. When he had his career for 8 years, Malpal said he won 68% of his games. And my response was, well, he was injured every single year. So, how many games did he start? Yes, he won 68%, but how many did he start? He said that each of those seasons, he started no less than 22 games. And so that's that. He says that it's not Strasburg's fault that the Nationals threw a bunch of money at him, which they did, and that's true. He compared him to Doc Gooden because Doc Gooden is beloved, and he hung around for 5 years doing nothing. Malpal says he does think Gooden was a better pitcher, but both had similar 8-year runs. Gooden did have more dominating years, but Gooden was largely a self-inflicted downfall, while Strasburg was all medical. So anyways, that's how Malpal feels, and I'm happy to share that with you guys. We do love when we talk about something on the show and it inspires you to go digging. And, there's nothing better than your own research and your own opinion, making your own opinion based on research that you've done, not based on what somebody else decided from their research. Because a lot of times this stuff is absolutely subjective. And that's that. White Sox Al is here. Nice to see you. Mitchell Hartson, great to see you. Zelmo and Tony, nice to see you this Saturday morning. And Mitchell Hartson says that they owe about 60% of the 2024 payroll to Corbin and Strasburg, plus they still owe money to Max Scherzer. No wonder they're having trouble selling the team. John Morosi is reporting that Shoto Imanaga, Imanaga, will be posted this offseason. He's a 30-year-old lefty, and he's having a banner year. He works with a low 90s fastball, a splitter, a cutter hybrid. Those are his main pitches. He also demonstrates great control. He's only allowed 50 walks over his past 271 and 2/3 innings pitched. Ohtani would rather go somewhere with the potential to win championships over his preference to play on the West Coast. Winning is a priority for Ohtani. The Angels haven't had a winning season since 2015. I have another tidbit from Boston Paul about Ohtani. Later on, we'll talk about that. According to manager Dave Roberts, the Dodgers manager, those pesky Dodgers, he says that the exams of Mookie Betts' injured foot show a bone bruise. Otherwise, they're clean. We're still expecting for Mookie Betts to miss this series against the Nats because Mookie is still really sore after fouling a ball off his left foot Thursday night. Now, the Giants, they have had a horrible run. Since the start of July, they rank last in runs, last in batting average, last in OBP, last in slugging, last in home runs, last in stolen bases. But the schedule is about to get much easier, so they've got that going for them. Another interesting tidbit, Hoyt Wilhelm was born in 1922. Yuri Perez was born in 2003. Dan Baker has been the Phillies' PA announcer for games they both pitched against the Phillies. This guy's been around for a long time, that's the point. All right, Acuna's not stolen a base in 6 games, tied for his longest such streak this year with the stretch from May 5th to 12th. Is he taking the foot off the gas a little bit to stay healthy? For October and maybe in the hunt for more home runs. I don't know. That's an opinion given by somebody on Twitter, X. Walker Buehler will not return in 2023. He did not have a setback, and he still is in a good place physically, but he hasn't progressed enough to make a return this year realistic. So the risk of rushing back too quickly was still too great, and the Dodgers decided, no, Walker Buehler, amazing since they need him so bad. Single season franchise record, 53 doubles for Freddie Freeman. Love it. I also have another tidbit about Freddie Freeman from Boston Paul this morning. We will get to that in the near future. Lance Lynn, Michael Kopech, and Giolito combined have given up over 100 home runs this season. Okay? Yes, Lynn, Kopech, and Giolito have given up 100 homers combined. How often did MLB starting pitchers go 7 innings? In 2013, 31.1% of pitchers made it through 7 innings. Now this year, only 12.4%. That's way less than half, okay, of what it used to be.
Tito Luna.
Hello, Tito Luna. Jeter Luna, great to see you. Hoyt Wilhelm hit a home run in his first MLB at bat. Unholy Toledo was at the game with Lenny, right?
No, I missed that game.
Oh, Lenny missed that game. Davis Schneider, we're talking about him to start his MLB career in 21 games. He's been on base 46 times, 17 extra base hits, 59 total bases, a 403 average, 535 on base percentage, and 881 slugging. Now, there's 2 catchers in baseball with a 280 or higher batting average and 15 or more home runs. Who are they? 2 catchers in baseball this year with a 280 or higher batting average and 15 or more home runs. Don't look it up. Let's just get started. Guessing. Who are the 2 catchers with the 280 plus batting average and 15 or more homers? I'll give you a couple minutes. A couple National League Cy Young hopefuls bolstered their cases on the road yesterday. Zach Gallen recorded his first career 9-inning shutout. It was the first for Arizona since 2021, and Blake Snell doing it. Recorded his 20th straight start with 3 or fewer earned runs. That's the 3rd longest streak in Padres history. Now, Blake Snell, good guess, King Turd, but that's not right. It's absolutely not Adley Rutschman, but he's done some great things for his team, which I will touch on today. I have them in my notes. In 29 starts this season, Blake Snell has faced a total of 7 batters after the 6th inning. So, no, Blake Snell does not go deep into games, but still, a hell of a season for Blake Snell. Man, nobody expected that, especially me. But I did expect Zach Gallen. It was the first time Zach Gallen pitched into the 9th inning in his career. He is 15-7 with a 3.31 ERA, 187 innings, and he will finish with 200 or more innings this year. Yanier is one of them. Yanier Diaz. There you go, Tito Luna. I say Diaz right now because of you. All right, Yanier Diaz is one of them with a 283 batting average and 21 homers and 335 plate appearances. And there is one more, and it's not Ruiz. It's not Adley. So keep on guessing. There's another catcher in baseball with a 280 plus batting average and 15 homers. Nope, it's not Diaz. Ronald Acuna, 9 hits away from 200 on the season. The last Brave with 200 hits in a season was Ender Inciarte in 2017. He finished with 201 hits. Remember him? Jose Abreu, home runs in 20. Now listen to this. You compare Jose Abreu. Yes, I know. He's had a horrible season. Blah, blah, blah. Big disappointment. Was traded to a new team, not doing great. Actually, he is doing great, considering that he went nearly 2 months to start the season without a homer. He's done very well. 4 of his homers have come in his last 8 games, and if you compare his stats between last year and this year, last year he had 15 homers. Right now he has 14. Last year he had 75 RBI. This year he has 75. Strikeouts, last year 110. This year 109. So it's not Jonah Heim. Good guesses. Keep them coming, please. Michael Kopech will move to the bullpen for the remainder of the season, but he is still viewed as a starting pitcher for next season. Poll for National League Cy Young Award winner on Twitter so far is Blake Snell, 40.9%, Justin Steele, 36%, and Spencer Strider, 18%. Why is everybody giving up on Strider so much? All right. He's still 9th in innings pitched, 2nd in WAR, 1st in FIP, 2nd in XFIP, 1st in Sierra. He's 1st in strikeouts, strikeout percentage, swinging strikeouts, and strikeouts minus walk ratio, all by a mile. And he ranks 4th in batting average against. So why is Strider getting the shaft in the polls from the fans on Twitter? It's not Contreras. Nope, this is a great one. I'm so glad I turned this into trivia instead of telling you the tidbit. This is great. It's not Alvarez either. No, sir. It's not Alvarez. Yeah, Buehler's droppable for now, but clearly he's going to be ready to go by next season. Good morning to Big Al on the prowl. How you feeling, my friend, my friendly Mets fan, my fellow Mets fan? Is Laura here? I'm missing Laura today, another fellow Mets fan. Anyways, who's the Atlanta catcher, Boston Paul? You can't just say Atlanta catcher. All right, here's another trivia. This hitter has the most home runs since 2014, the most RBIs since 2014, the most home runs since 2015, the most RBIs since 2015, the most home runs and most RBIs. Basically, this guy has the most home runs and the most RBIs since the year 2014. Contreras, 281, 15 homers. That must have just recently happened, like last night, because this tidbit was from yesterday. So, okay, Contreras, is that Wilson or William? Anyway, I probably sound stupid, but Garver is the answer. I guess there's 3 now. 281 with 15 homers. Garver is the other catcher that I had on the list. So apparently Contreras did it yesterday. And we will welcome him to the tidbit, the trivia. But I hope you didn't miss what I just said. The very new
Chris Gallup.
The very new trivia, okay, for you people. We're moving on. Yes, good guess. It's not Nelson Cruz. Which hitter has the most home runs and the most RBIs since 2016?
14.
Since 2014. All right. Dave Roberts, the pesky Dodgers manager, coming just short of officially naming Bobby Miller as a postseason starter, but I don't know how he could possibly not have him in the rotation. I mean, this guy, since the All-Star break, Miller's been fantastic. The Dodgers should be thanking their lucky stars for this kid. He began using his off-speed pitches more than his fastball, making his fastball more effective, and his control is getting great. Since he's gained confidence in his ability to get major leaguers out, he's attacking the strike zone, and he has 9 wins and 3 losses with a 3.80 ERA. It's not Harper. It's not Trout. It's not Freeman. Great guesses. Ed Bucci. Who's that, Leonard?
He was the first baseman for the Phillies.
First baseman for the Phillies. Of course, Lenny knows who you're talking about, and Oli. Clayton Kershaw, if healthy, will pitch in the postseason, but we did get some red flags raised in his most recent outing against the Marlins, where his velocity was sitting at a career low, but he has been great this season. Now, according to the Bleacher Report, the most disappointing things in MLB this season, number 1, Chris Bryant, number 2, Severino, number 3, the good old New York Mets, number 4, Anthony Rendon. Number 5, Madison Bumgarner. Number 6, the White Sox. And, of course, as I already mentioned, number 7 for the most disappointing things about MLB this season is Jose Abreu. I'm sorry. He's doing just as good as he did. I know he started off slow, but let's look at his overall stats. And he is turning up the heat right now. Number 8 is Syndergaard, and Malpal will agree with me on number 9, the San Diego Padres. Seiya Suzuki over the last 30 days, .359 batting average, .402 on base percentage, .728 slugging, brought his season-weighted runs created plus up to 119. His underlying stat data is excellent as well. So let's get started with the games, but I do have to give you one more tidbit for the Mets. I know they've been horrible, but this did surprise me. They actually have 4 players with over 20 home runs for the first time since 2019. It is Nolan Arenado, the leader in RBI and home runs since 2014. Now let's go ahead and get started on the games.
Wait, name the 4 players with over 20 home runs.
Oh, okay. I'll name the 4 players. You got Alonso Lindor, Francisco Alvarez, and Brandon Nimmo. I like Nimmo. Yes, I do. Here's a tidbit of Adley Rutschman. He's been in the major leagues for 258 games. In 258 games prior to Adley Rutschman being called up, the Orioles were 91 and 167. In the 258 games since the Orioles called up Adley Rutschman, they are 152 and 106. So tell me that Adley Rutschman doesn't help a winning culture the second he steps on the field, and that's true. But there's a lot of reasons why the Orioles are as good as they are, and it's not just Adley Rutschman. I still like the kid, and I wanted to let you know that tidbit because it was a good one. All right. The Diamondbacks beat the Cubbies 1-0 for their 3rd straight win. Now, Arizona won for the 4th time in 5 games and moved within 2 games of the Cubbies for the number 2 spot in the National League wild card standings. Gallen pitched a 3-hitter for his 2nd career complete game. Gallen struck out 9 and walked 1 after he dropped his previous 2 outings, and it was his first complete game since 2021. His complete game was the 30th in major leagues this season, 6 shy of last year's total. 30th complete game this season in the majors, 6 less than last year, so we're heading down the downward, we're heading down, we're going down in numbers, okay? As far as pitchers lasting throughout the game. Jameson Taillon struck out 9 and pitched 6 innings. 1 hit ball got overshadowed by Gallen's excellent work, but still had a great outing. Suzuki had 2 hits. Corbin Carroll accounted for the game's only run with a 2-out RBI single. Brad Boxberger was activated from the 60-day injured list, and Keegan Thompson was optioned to AAA. Merrill Kelly faces Justin Steele tonight. The White Sox beat the Detroit Tigers 6-0. Chicago won back-to-back road games for the first time since August 5th and 6th. The Tigers have lost 3 of 4 since they swept the White Sox last weekend, and the Tigers have been shut out 15 times this year. Mike Clevenger allowed 3 hits, struck out 7, and walked nobody, improving to 9-3 with a 2.24 ERA against the Tigers. Always pitch Clevenger against the Tigers. He retired the last 10 batters 6 days after allowing Detroit 8 runs in 4 innings. I guess that would have been I just pushed in my opinion, and then I get slaughtered by the tidbit. The fact that he retired his last 10 batters, but 6 days ago he allowed Detroit 8 runs in 4 innings. So don't always pitch Clevenger against the Tigers. Maybe. I don't know. That was a bad opinion of mine. Reese Olson, 24-year-old right-handed pitcher, made his 15th big league start and 18th appearance. He allowed 2 runs and 2 hits in 6 2/3 with 1 walk, a hit, batter, and 5 strikeouts. He threw 60 of a career-high 104 pitches for strikes. Yoan Moncada hit a tie-breaking 2-run homer and added an RBI single in a 4-run 8th. Benintendi hit a 2-run double. Javi Baez, by the way, I think, if I read correctly, Javi Baez has the best batting average of his... No, it couldn't be. I'm not going to say that because that can't be right. Javier Baez came out of the game early after experiencing some stiffness in his left elbow. He was hit by a pitch by Clevenger in the third. Hinch said that the injury isn't serious, but Baez is getting the day off today.
Laura's here.
Hello, Laura. Welcome aboard. Glad you could make it. I was just talking about you, so your ears must have been ringing. Good morning to Mary. Hinch said Sawyer Gibson Long will make his major league debut as Detroit's starting pitcher. Gibson Long is 8-8 with a 4.33 ERA in 19 starts and 3 relief appearances for AA Erie and AAA Toledo. He takes the rotation slot of Matt Manning, who broke his foot this week. Tarek Skubal will face Jose Urena today. The Tampa Bay Rays rallied to beat the Mariners 7-4. The Rays hold a 6.5 game lead over Seattle in the race for the top American League wildcard spot. Tampa Bay started the day 4 games behind Baltimore. The Mariners entered play trailing Houston by half a game in the AL West. Isaac Paredes solo homer, 29th of the season. Chris Davinsky got the win. Pete Fairbanks got his 21st save and 23 chances. Julio Rodriguez, Cal Raleigh, and Eugenio Suarez homered for the Mariners. George Kirby gave up 4 runs and 5 hits over 6 1/3. He threw 102 pitches. He walked 2, and he had walked just 14 batters over his previous 26 starts this season and had not issued one in a career-high 5 straight outings, but 2 yesterday. 22-year-old Taj Bradley worked a career-high 6 1/3. The rookie right-hander allowed 4 runs and 6 hits. I'm having a sip of coffee. Renee Pinto and Harold Ramirez hit 2-run homers. Pinto has homered in 3 of his last 4 games after entering the stretch with 3 career home runs. It was Ramirez's first homer since June 8th and ended a career-worst 55-game homerless drought. Julio, 28th homer. He's hitting .336 with 15 homers and 52 RBIs since July 1st. It was Raleigh's 27th home run. And Teoscar Hernandez extended his career-best hitting streak, 17 games, with a double in the 3rd inning. Tonight, you get to see Aaron Savali pitch against the Mariners, but they didn't announce a starter yet. The Cardinals beat the Reds 9-4 yesterday, dropping the Reds 1.5 games back for the National League's final wild card berth. The Cardinals have won 4 of 5 and scored 5 or more runs for the 6th straight game. Let me go ahead and repeat that. The Cardinals have won 4 of 5. They've scored 5 or more runs 6 straight games. Cincinnati led the National League Central at 59-49 at the start of August, but they're 14-21 since. The Reds trail Arizona and Miami for the last wild card spot. The Reds stranded 12 runners and went 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. And the Cardinals' bullpen pitched 5 scoreless innings. The Reds opened a stretch in which they play 17 of their last 20 games against teams with losing records. Andrew Abbott tied his career high by allowing 6 runs. He pitched 4 innings, 4 hits, 3 walks. Rom, R-O-M, a 23-year-old lefty, gave up 4 runs and 7 hits in 3 2/3. Wilson Contreras hit a 3-run first-inning homer. Arenado had 3 hits and snapped a career-long 11-game streak without an RBI. Hunter Renfroe hit a 2-run homer, and Nick Senzel had a solo homer. Lucan Baker, he entered with 1 RBI in 18 games of his rookie season. He hit a 3-run double and boosted the lead to 6-0 in the 3rd inning. The Reds' Noelvi Marte scored on a double steal in the 4th. Marte and Spencer Steer's double steal increased Cincinnati's Major League leading total to 165, the most steals by the Reds since 190 in 1997. Joey Votto and Jonathan India each hit 2-run doubles for AAA Louisville on rehab assignments. Bell expects them to be back in Cincinnati's lineup tomorrow. Zach Thompson goes against Carson Spires today. He's making his second career appearance and start. JD Martinez off the injured list, homered and drove in 3 runs. Freddie Freeman set a Dodgers record with his 53rd double of the season, and the Los Angeles Dodgers beat the Nationals 8-5. The Dodgers reduced the magic number in the National League West to 8 games. The Dodgers lead Arizona by 13 games and hold the tiebreaker over the Diamondbacks. Last place Washington has dropped 9 of the last 11. Mackenzie Gore allowed 4 runs, struck out 4, and manager Dave Martinez said Gore was lifted after 4 innings because of a blister on his left hand. Emmett Sheehan, 5 runs and 4 1/3. Max Muncy and Kiki Hernandez solo homers. C.J. Abrams and Keibert Ruiz homered. The Dodgers were without Mookie Betts, who fouled a ball off his left foot Thursday. Manager Dave Roberts said the CT scan and MRI showed no major injuries, and Betts was diagnosed with a bone bruise. Chris Taylor, a 2-run double. Alex Bessia pitched 1 2/3 scoreless innings before the rain delayed the game for an hour and 34 minutes in the top of the 7th. Evan Phillips, 22nd save. Martinez, J.D., 2-out, 2-run homer in the first inning and his first plate appearance since August 19th. Muncy, 33rd homer of the season to lead off the 4th inning, and Hernandez solo shot 2 batters later. Freeman's double broke Johnny Frederick's single-season record for a Dodger set in 1929. He finished 3 for 4, and this tidbit, coming from Boston Paul, says Freeman with 52 doubles needs 14 doubles to tie the single-season record of 67 held by Tris Speaker. Walker Buehler, we told you, will not return this year from Tommy John, and Lane Thomas remained out of the lineup for the 3rd consecutive games. Riley Adams was put on the 10-day injured list, and they recalled second baseman Luis Garcia from AAA. Tonight is Bobby Miller, who's 4-2 with a 3.20 ERA in 9 starts since the All-Star break, against Jake Irvin, who has recorded a no decision in 7 consecutive starts since July 26th, but has a 3.43 ERA in that span. Malpal saying suckage. Okay, that's not too bad. I don't think that's filthy, but I feel ya. Malpal ran out of decaf, so watch out. He's on a rampage. Okay, and Tina. Good morning to Tina. Miami Marlins beat the Phillies 3-2 on Friday night to open a 3-game series. Miami is a half game behind Arizona for the 3rd and final wild card spot in the National League, and the Marlins have won 7 of 8. Philly is in first place in the wild card race, 2 games in front of the Cubbies and 4 games clear of Arizona. Miami is just behind the Diamondbacks. Perez, Miami's 20-year-old rookie standout, gave up 2 runs on 4 hits in 5 innings to raise his ERA to 2.9. And Philly's lefty, Christopher Sanchez, tossed 5 scoreless innings, giving up 4 hits with 4 strikeouts and a walk. Jacob Stallings hit a 2-run home run. Jesus Sanchez went deep. Brian De La Cruz had a pair of hits. And Trey Turner returned from a 2-game absence on the paternity list. He had his baby yesterday and yesterday was Friday. He had his baby on Thursday, and he came back to play yesterday. So a 2-game absence on the paternity list. Is that okay, Leonard, if a guy leaves for 2 games?
Should not have paternity.
Lenny is adamant that no guy should get his wife pregnant with a due date in baseball season. So whether it's 2 days, 10 days, it doesn't matter. You should not be impregnating your wife if 9 months later is the middle of baseball season, okay? That's his rule. But Turner did extend his hitting streak to 16 games and his RBI streak to 10 games. David Robertson pitched a scoreless inning for the win, and Tanner Scott, 6th save in 9 tries. Good morning to Daniel Ferrara. Great to see you, Hulkster. Sandy Alcantara traveled with the club to Philly for the start of a 7-game road trip, but he was placed on the injured list Wednesday, so who knows. But he is with the team. So I think they're planning on bringing him back as soon as possible when he's eligible.
Did you say hello to Chris Gallo?
Good morning, Chris Gallo. Great to see you. Great to see everybody. It's wonderful having you all in the chat room. I don't keep up that good, but I just love seeing all of the interaction between our friends and fellow baseball fans. Also, Audrey, Tilly, Molly, Scooter, and Rudy. I might be missing one, but good morning to the dogs. William Contreras hit a go-ahead single in the 3-run 7th, and the Milwaukee Brewers overcame Jason Dominguez's 4th homer to drop the New York Yankees back below 500 with an 8-2 victory. Milwaukee opened a 3-game National League Central lead over the second-place Cubs. New York lost its 2nd straight following a 5-game winning streak and trails Toronto, Texas, and Boston for the American League's final wild card. The Yankees went 1 for 12 with runners on base and were held to 3 hits or fewer for the 15th time this season, their most games with 3 hits or less since 1914. Milwaukee had 9 of its 16 hits in the 7th and 8th innings, and the Yankees have the best bullpen ERA en route to their worst season in 30 years. And yes, that's true. That's another tidbit by Boston Paul. I love all of the people sending me tidbits to put in the notes, and I absolutely will use them when I can. The Yankees have the best bullpen ERA in baseball and their worst season in 30 years. The Braves don't have as good a bullpen as the Yankees, who ranked 1 and 2 in Major League Baseball. Jason Dominguez became the youngest player since at least 1901 to homer 4 times in his first 7 games. Willie Adames hit a tying 2-run homer. Severino, off of Severino. Now, Severino left an inning later with an injured left side after allowing a leadoff single to Bryce Terang in the 5th inning. Severino dropped his glove in front of the mound, doubled over in pain, and walked around the mound. The 29-year-old right-hander was holding his left side near his oblique. He said that he felt like he got shot after his last pitch of the night, and he's still in obvious pain. He definitely pulled something. He's got an oblique strain, there's no doubt about it. They say near his oblique. Your oblique is your whole middle area, so. Eligible for free agency after this season, Severino is 4-8 with a 6.65 ERA. He did not make his season debut till May 21st because of a strained muscle. Colin Ray added 2 runs and 3 hits in he allowed 2 runs and 3 hits in 4 2/3. He did not allow another base runner after Dominguez homered. Abner Uribe got his first career win. Adrian Hauser can be activated Tuesday and will throw a bullpen session this weekend. Now, King Turd's been pushing Michael King. He says it's a good at least spot start. Not sure, King Turd, if you can expand on what you had to say about Michael King. He's 4-5 with the 2.88, and tonight he goes against Wade Miley. Before the game today, the Yankees will celebrate their 25th anniversary of their 125-win 1998 team, and Derek Jeter will make his first appearance at Old Timers Day. Holy moly. Derek Jeter's an old-timer now. Yes. King Turd says he's rolling with Michael King today. He's been very good. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hit a tie-breaking double. Bo Bichette had 2 hits and 2 RBIs in his return from the injury list, and the Blue Jays held on to beat the Royals 5-4. By the way, the worst team in baseball is no longer the Athletics, according to standings record. Kansas City took over that feat. Toronto has won 8 of its past 9 home meetings with Kansas City, and the Royals are a Major League worst 18-52 on the road. Guerrero's 2-run double off right-hander Carlos Hernandez helped the Blue Jays hold on to the final American League wildcard berth with their 4th win in 5 games. Vladdy Jr., 16 RBIs in 24 career games against Kansas City. Now, Toronto matched a season best by moving 15 games above 500. The Blue Jays are 23-19 in 1-run games. Kansas City is 44-98, fell behind Oakland for the worst record in the major leagues. Bichette went 2 for 5 and scored once after being activated off the 10-day injured list before the game. I talked to you earlier about rookie Davis Schneider. He reached base 4 times yesterday. He doubled in the 2nd and the 4th and walked in the 6th and the 7th. So this Davis Schneider doing great. Chad Green got the win, and Jordan Romano got 33rd save and 36 chances. Dairon Blanco hit a 2-out solo home run off of Kikuchi in the 3rd. It was his 2nd of the season. It was the 2nd homer off of Kikuchi in 10 starts since the All-Star break. Kikuchi allowed 1 run and 3 hits in 5 innings. He walked 1 and struck out 8. Yes, Kikuchi is having the season that Lenny told you he would. Amazingly. Say his name, Leonard.
Kikuchi.
Right-hander Colin Snyder opened for the Royals and allowed 1 hit in 2 scoreless innings. Kansas City activated first baseman Nick Prado off the injured list and optioned infielder Matt Beatty to AAA Omaha. John Schneider said Danny Jansen will miss the rest of the regular season after having surgery Thursday on his fractured middle finger. His status for the playoffs will be evaluated if Toronto advances to the postseason. Matt Chapman resumed hitting and fielding drills after having a splint removed from his sprained right middle finger. Tonight is Kansas City hasn't announced a starter, but Kevin Gausman will pitch for the Blue Jays. The American League best Baltimore Orioles, Eddie's favorite team, who, by the way, how exciting is it for the Orioles fans and for Eddie? He just got his playoff ticket strip or whatever, paid $1 million for it, but how fun for that. I really hope you get to take a couple of your granddaughters and, of course, Teresa to the games. But let's just hope the Baltimore Orioles continue. I mean, they've been good all season. They're fun to root for, fun ballpark, everything's great. I'm rooting for you, Eddie. And the Orioles beat the fading Red Sox yesterday 11-2. After going 5-1 on the western portion of its 9-game trip, Baltimore posted its 6th straight victory and 12th in the last 15 games. The Orioles extended their streak of series without being swept. The Orioles have gone 85 straight series without being swept. That's huge. I love it. It makes me excited, okay? The Red Sox have lost 3 straight and 8 of 11. They're on the fringe of the American League wildcard chase. They entered the day 5 games out of the 3rd and final spot. Kyle Bradish struck out 9 batters in 6 strong innings. He breezed through 5 scoreless innings with 7 strikeouts, allowing only 1 hit before giving up 2 runs on 3 hits in the 6th inning. But Bradish has allowed 2 or fewer runs in 6 consecutive starts and didn't walk a batter for just the 2nd time in his 27 outings this season. Tanner Houck looked strong in the first 5 innings. He relied on a sharp slider to strike out 5 and allow only 1 run. He's made it past 6 innings just once in 17 starts this year. Adley Rutschman homered and drove in 3 runs. Ryan O'Hearn also homered for the Orioles. Cedric Mullins had a 2-run double during a 4-run 6th inning. Connor Wong hit a solo homer. Justin Turner an RBI double. Alex Verdugo returned to the lineup after missing the last 3 games with hamstring tightness. And we have Corey Kluber and Pablo Reyes both started rehab assignments with AAA. Tonight is Jack Flaherty to make his first career start against the Red Sox against Chris Sale, who has a .418 ERA in 5 starts since he was sidelined with shoulder inflammation for 2 months. Acuna homered for the 7th time in 11 games. Eddie Rosario went deep and drove in 3 runs, and Atlanta Braves beat the Pirates 8-2. The Braves have won 2 straight following a 3-game skid. They are 16-4 against the Pirates at Truist Park, which opened in 2017. Atlanta has won 8 straight and 14 of 15 home games versus Pittsburgh.
You just gonna ring, or are you gonna talk?
Pittsburgh has the youngest roster in the majors, and that's interesting. I read earlier that the Reds have the youngest roster in the majors. Maybe it's the youngest hitters or the youngest, I don't know. Anyways, both Pittsburgh and the Reds have extremely young team. They had won 7 of their last 9. They're 4th in the NL Central. Bryce Elder let Ji-Won Bae lead off the game with a double, but he retired 14 of the next 15 batters he faced. He gave up 4 hits and 2 runs with a season-high 9 strikeouts through 7 innings. Since losing 7-5 at Pittsburgh on August 10th, Elder is 4-0 with a 2.30 ERA over his last 5 starts. The Braves' first 8 runs were charged to Mitch Keller, who had gone 2-0 with a 2.03 ERA in his previous 5 starts before dropping to 0-4 with a 9.97 ERA in 5 career starts against Atlanta. And Keller allowed 12 hits and 8 runs to tie a career high in 5 innings. What are you doing? Can I ask what you're looking for?
I'm looking for my card.
Okay.
I'm looking for my identification card from the condo.
Did you look in your wallet?
Yeah, I thought it was in there.
Can you wait till I'm done with the show and I'll help you?
Yes, go ahead.
Acuna hit his 35th homer, 455 feet, with an exit velocity of 110.6 miles per hour. Rosario's 21st long ball. Acuna is bidding to become the first player in Major League history with a 40-homer, 60 stolen base season. He has swiped a Major League high 63 bases this. Holy moly, that's unbelievable. He is having the MVP season. There's no doubt about it. There's no question mark. Okay, it's Acuna. Austin Riley, out for the 2nd straight game with an illness, ran onto the field before the game, but Snicker decided to rest him and let Nicky Lopez handle third base. Snicker says Riley was available to pinch hit. Riley had played in all 138 games prior to Thursday. Sean Murphy got a 2nd straight day off. They wanted Travis d'Arnaud to play 2 nights in a row. Matt Olson had homered in 4 straight games, 1 shy of tying his career high set in 2017 with Oakland. He leads the majors with 47 home runs, tying him with Hank Aaron and Eddie Matthews for the 2nd most in franchise history. Atlanta has yet to announce a starter for tonight's game, but Pittsburgh will throw out Johan Oviedo. Shea Langoliers hit a 2-out, 2-run homer in the 6th inning to break a tie, and the Athletics held on to beat the Rangers 6-3. Langoliers knocked the Rangers starter Jordan Montgomery from the game and helped push Texas a game further behind Toronto in the American League wildcard race. Toronto beat Kansas City and leads the Rangers by 1.5 games for the 3rd wildcard spot. Texas remained 2.5 games behind first place Houston in the AL West and a half game back of 2nd place Seattle. Houston and Seattle both lost yesterday. The Rangers have lost 4 consecutive games, 7 of last 8, and 16 of their last 20. Ugh. The A's, who will be officially eliminated from the postseason with their next loss, moved out of the Major League basement ahead of Kansas City. Paul Blackburn struggled with his command and threw 70 pitches in the first 2 innings, okay? He did escape, only allowing Corey Seager's first inning 2-run homer. Blackburn left after 3 innings and 87 pitches with the game tied 2-2. Combined, the Oakland bullpen held the Rangers to 1 run on 3 hits over the final 6 innings, and Corey Seager's 29th home run of the season and 16th in his past 34 games. Rangers starter Jordan Montgomery allowed 5 runs on 8 hits, including 2 home runs allowed in 5 2/3. Esteury Ruiz solo home run. Evan Carter made his Major League debut starting in right field for Adolis Garcia, or Adolis. He finished 1 for 3 with a walk and 2 strikeouts. Garcia was placed on the 10-day injured list because of a strained patellar tendon. And tonight you get to see Nathan Eovaldi against John Gray. The Minnesota Twins beat the Mets 5-2. The American League Central leading Twins remain 6.5 games ahead of second-place Cleveland. The Guardians beat the Angels 6-3. Dallas Keuchel, who allowed 2 runs and 3 hits in 5 innings. Johan Duran pitched a hitless 9th for his 25th save and 30 chances. Minnesota has won 4 of Keuchel's 5 starts since he joined the team in early August. Mets starter Cody Senga gave up 2 runs and 4 hits in 6 innings. He struck out 5 to raise his total to 181, moving 3 ahead of Jerry Koosman for second most strikeouts by a Mets rookie behind Dwight Gooden's 276. You're making me nervous. Senga's 4 walks were his most since June 10th against Pittsburgh. Andrew Stevenson played his 7th game with Minnesota this year after spending most of the season at AAA St. Paul. He already has the go-ahead from his manager to be aggressive on the base pass and scored from second base. Royce Lewis RBI double and scored. Carlos Correa faced the Mets for the first time since his $315 million 12-year deal with New York fell through. His 114.2 miles per hour drive in the 4th was the hardest hit homer of his big league career. It was his 18th of the season. The Twins placed Joey Gallo on the injured list and activated Alex Kirilloff from the injured list. He was 12 for 27 with 2 home runs and 6 RBI in a 6-game rehab assignment with AAA. DJ Stewart was still a little sore yesterday and was not in the lineup, but could be ready for today's game. Tonight is David Peterson against Kenta Maeda. The Padres cooled off the red-hot Astros with an 11-2 win. Houston had just 6 hits after piling up 50 hits against the Rangers. The struggles at Minute Maid Park continue as the team fell to 35-35 at home after losing for the 10th time in their last 12 home games. But the Mariners also lost yesterday to leave the Astros 1/2 game ahead of them for the top spot in the division. The Padres jumped on rookie Hunter Brown early, using a 4-run second inning to take a 4-1 lead. Snell pitched 6 strong innings, 5 hits, and 2 runs with 8 strikeouts to get his 3rd straight win. It was the first time in 3 starts that he'd allowed a run, but he still leads the majors with a 2.52 ERA. He has allowed 3 earned runs or less in 20 straight starts dating back to May 25th. Trent Grisham had a homer and 4 RBIs. Xander Bogaerts extended his hitting streak to 7 games with a solo homer. Jeremy Pena doubled and scored. Juan Soto RBI double. And Kim, 3 stolen bases yesterday to become the first Padre to have 3 steals in a game since Will Myers did it in 2021. Kim ranks 5th in the National League with 34 stolen bases this season. Gary Sanchez was placed on the injured list with a fractured right wrist, and Bob Melvin said he would miss the rest of the season, but that he would not need surgery for the injury. Christian Javier goes against Seth Lugo. All right, we're almost done, fellas, men, women, whatever. All right. Josh Naylor drove in 3 runs. Logan Allen picked up his first win in 4 starts, and the Guardians beat the Angels 6-3. It was Naylor's 11th game with at least 3 RBIs this season, and Bo Naylor, his brother, also drove in a run, making the 7th time this season that the Naylor brothers have had an RBI in the same game. Josh Naylor is 5 for 17 with 5 RBI in 5 games since coming off the injured list after missing a month due to a right oblique strain. Logan Allen allowed 1 run on 3 hits and struck out 6 to get his first victory since August 15th. He is 4th among American League rookies in strikeouts and 5th in wins. Griffin Canning allowed 3 runs on 8 hits in 5 1/3, and Emmanuel Clase got his 39th save, the most in the majors. The Guardians remain 6.5 games behind Minnesota in the American League Central after the Twins beat the Mets yesterday, and the Angels have dropped 7 of their last 8. Logan O'Hoppe had a 2-run homer. Bo Naylor is 15 for 41 with 10 RBI in his last 15 games. Here's an Ohtani update. Ohtani was out of the lineup for the 5th straight game due to right oblique tightness. Good grief, this guy's got injuries all over the place. The manager said he thought it was best if Ohtani had another day off because Cleveland had a lefty on the mound. According to Boston Paul, Shohei Ohtani entered September needing only 6 home runs and 2 triples to knock on the door of the 50-10 club. That's 50 homers and 10 triples. Only has been done twice, once by Babe Ruth in 1921 when he had 59 homers and 16 triples, and once by Willie Mays in 1955 when he had 51 homers and 13 triples. Manager Terry Francona said Shane Bieber did well facing live hitters on Thursday in Cleveland. The next step in Bieber returning to the rotation would be a rehab assignment. Angels second baseman Luis Rengifo will undergo further testing. Lucas Giolito goes against Tyler Anderson. Giolito allowed 9 runs in 3 innings in his first Cleveland start on Monday. Gabe Kapler talks to his San Francisco Giants about having a fighter's mentality. The Giants rallied twice to beat the Rockies 9-8 and snapped a 6-game losing streak. The Giants avoided falling below 500 for the first time since beginning the day 29-30 on June 4th. The Giants had been outscored 41-14 during the skid and are just 10-21 since August 5th. To drop out of a wild card spot. The starter Kyle Harrison made the second home start of his career and 4th overall. He struck out 5 more after fanning 11 in his first start at Oracle Park to give him 16 strikeouts at home. And the reason I bring that up is because it's just shy of Hall of Famer Juan. How do you say his name? Marichal. 18 strikeouts in 1960 that are most by a Giants pitcher in his first 2 home outings. Camilo Doval, 36 save. John Brebbia pitched the 8th inning for the win. Elias Diaz hit a go-ahead 3-run homer. Nolan Jones hit a homer. Sabol, Flores, Haniger, J.D. Davis homered. All of these guys homered. Austin Slater and Thairo Estrada, the Giants' scheduled number 1 and 2 hitters, were late scratches. Slater with dizziness and Estrada has pink eye. Rockies right-hander German Marquez reached an agreement on a $20 million 2-year contract for 24 and 25 years for the next year and the year after, and that allows him to remain with the team as he recovers from Tommy John surgery. Colorado has shut down Austin Gomer for the season, placing him on the 60-day injured list with lower back inflammation. The move cleared the way for right-hander Victor Vodnik to come up from AAA Albuquerque. Alex Cobb is scheduled to throw a bullpen today after playing catch 2 straight days and could be in line to start Monday. Conforto tested a strained left hamstring with base running yesterday and was to be evaluated today based on how he felt a day later before the Giants determine if he's ready to return or perhaps needs a rehab appearance. Logan Webb goes against Chase Anderson. Thank you very much for coming in. Have a great day, everybody.